with those pleats basted in place, you're now ready to get your cuff ready to sew on. If you look at your guide sheet, it tells you to attach your sewing interfacing to the wrong side of your cuff. And I am using a different fabric actually for my cuff and my cuff facing, so it'll be really easy for you to see and follow which one is which and not get lost in the print. And so I have basted at 1/4 inch. I've basted the interfacing to my cuff onto the wrong side of my cuff so that it is ready to go. And then this plain green piece of fabric will be my cuff facing. And then if you look at your guide sheet, it just tells you to, with the right sides together now, pin and attach the cuff to the cuff facing. But we need to allow for that turn of cloth. This cuff is going to go around your wrist. And because it goes around your wrist, the inside of that fabric does not need to go as far as the outside of that fabric does. You have to allow for the turn of cloth. And so as you pin the cuff to the cuff facing, we are going to, instead of line this up like your guide sheet tells you to, and it tells you to line this up exactly and then to fold the top seam allowance of your cuff facing down 5/8 of an inch. We are going to leave those lined up and aligned as they are, and then I want you to pull that cuff facing out, and if you can look, there is 1/8 of an inch of the cuff facing sticking out, just that little bit there. And I want you to pin your cuff to your cuff facing right sides together with 1/8 of an inch extended on that cuff facing, so that edge will favor. If you look, the bottom and the top of the cuff are totally aligned. It's just the ends. And so do one end, flip it over, pin the other end, again pulling that out, that 1/8 of an inch, and pinning it in place. Now you will notice that then at the bottom we've got a little gap there. So in order to pin the bottom, you are going to give your fabric a pull and stretch that fabric just a little bit so that the cuff and the cuff facing now are the same length. And so you can do this taking advantage of your corkboard, pinning into your corkboard and pulling against it, or working with another person and have them hold the cuff as you pin that. But you're going to stretch and pull and pin that cuff into place so that the cuff and the cuff facing are the same length. And then when that cuff facing relaxes, it's actually going to make that cuff roll and curl in a circle, and that's what we're after. And so you are going to pin that with that pulled. When I'm doing it myself, sometimes I will pin it and then, or pull it and grab the center, and then I'm within a space where I can hold it myself, pick up a pin and pull that in. That's a little bit more difficult to do yourself. It'll be easier if you pin that with a partner. So I'm going to go ahead and pin, and then we'll get back together.